This week on the Push All Legs podcast, we talk about Dan's safari trip, his favourite animals, and we've got a wedding update, and we talk about Athens.
And 3, 2, 1. Dan es bajo y gordo.
Hey guys, welcome to the Push Pull Legs podcast with myself, Damik.
And me, Tom Hall. What's going on, buddy?
Senor Tom, Senor Hall, as we all now call him. Yeah, you officially turning Spanish, aren't you?
Basically, exactly what's happening. Anybody who speaks Spanish would have giggled. For the second week, fortnightly.
So that'd be no one.
Clara speaks Spanish, so yeah, which is
does
what's interesting at check-ins. So yeah, she'll laugh at that first opening. So yeah.
Well, I mean, Dan is a bald idiot or something like that.
No, it wasn't actually. It was a description of you though. So yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah. We'll take it.
I've literally just come off my my lesson with Mateo. Isn't the world a crazy place, man? Like that I can have like 3 Spanish lessons a week with a guy that just lives in Bogota, and he's in Mexico City today, and like it's like, yep. Just gonna have a little Spanish class, bosh, and he's gonna go on his traveling ways.
It's crazy, yeah.
It's cool, isn't it? Or my mum would be like, "Oh, back in my day, this isn't what happened." Like, well, some things are better now. Like, I can literally hire a Colombian speaking, which is apparently the best accent person to like learn from, and it's like cool, and it's not that expensive either, because obviously it's like somebody who's living there, so whatever it is. So, like compared to the group sessions, I'm only paying like about £7.50 more, like per hour, than to do like 1-to-1. It's crazy.
So do you have homework?
Yeah, I've got homework.
Oh fuck that!
But it's mate, like the 1-to-1 stuff, so much better than like when I was doing the group stuff. That was like proper school. It was like I was just like, this is not the way to learn at all. Especially as an educator, and I was just like, this system is shit. And now I'm using something called Preply, which is all integrated with Google Meets and Team, like all that kind of stuff. So it's all kind of normal. And he was literally like, yeah, we would just have like all your stuff running on a Google document. I was like, perfect, exactly how I work. So that'll be fine.
21st century stuff.
I was like, yeah. So I was like, this is fine. And like, you got little tasks and stuff to do. So instead of literally like the Spanish, like, this was my book that I had like for fucking the in-person one,
man.
And it is dog shit. It's so bad. And I was just like, I'm never fucking seeing that. And I was like, I just want to learn conversational Spanish. This is insane. Anyway, Daniel has been learning conversational Afrikaans, I believe.
I have, yeah. I should say. That's what I said. Yeah. I just say yeah.
Isn't it yo?
Yeah. It's a bit, if you're a proper deep accent, yeah. But most of the people there were like, yeah. They say yeah. Yeah, it was in South Africa for a safari. It was absolutely incredible. Like, I think, like, I've said this to a lot of people. I said this to you before we started recording. Is that I think that everyone would have a slightly different experience, or they get different things out of it. Based on like where you're at in life, based on your perception of things, but also just from an animalistic point of view of being within, I suppose, striking distance of animals that could rip you apart. I can imagine somebody would have different thoughts and feelings. Like,
you're with Mike like frequently, so
I know, yeah. Well, they say the hippos are dangerous, to be fair. So that's true. But yeah, no, it's like it was weird. It was weird. It was weirdly. I found it weirdly relaxing when I was around these animals. It was weird to describe, and then being out in nature a little bit more and all that sort of stuff. It's just it was incredible. Like, and anyone who's thinking of doing it, I would 100% recommend. Don't delay it. Do it. If you're thinking of doing it with kids, the one thing I would say is that Isabel is now 9 going on 10. She's 10 in October, so 9.5. And she's quite mature. And I think that she was only just old enough to enjoy it. Like, I think any younger, I just don't think they'd really get it. I just don't think I think the environment will be lost on them, like from that point of view. That's just my opinion. Again, you may disagree with me, but if you've got young kids. But we were there with like while we were there, there's a few other families there, and one of the families when we were out on a drive with them, they're like a 6-year-old boy, and he just didn't. I was like, he's just not going to make the most of the experience. In my opinion, like fell asleep for half of it. Like wasn't really that bothered, and it was almost too early or too late in the day for him. He was too tired and things like that. So yeah, like it was just amazing. Like weird though, like seeing. Like I don't know why I just thought that a lot of the animals would just obviously all stick together, and obviously they do in herds and stuff like that, right? But it was like one of these big, these huge open plains, and like it was crazy to me how many of them mix together and around. Like just I didn't anticipate it being like obviously the predators don't, but a lot of the prey they mix all together because almost like looking out for each other a lot, and like
Yeah.
it's just weird seeing all these animals kind of like weirdly. You'd think they all had their own little areas, but because it's wild, they don't obviously. Um, yeah, yeah, it was just
It's
weird. Like,
how
just
maybe we should take something from that as a society of instead of having all these
yeah.
little fucking areas and we should all play together and then
Well, except for the predators, of course, though. But the predators didn't. They stuck themselves by themselves, and they're all scared of everyone, and they had their own little spaces. So
yeah.
maybe it's a predator and prey thing. Who knows? But yeah, just some
Obviously,
fascinating insights into like the world and how it all works there and stuff. It's crazy.
not something I'm sure you get asked frequently as an adult, but you probably should. What was your favorite animal?
What was my favorite animal?
Has nobody asked you that on your calls so far?
No, 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 no,
What? They're
no.
self-centered
I
people
think that seeing
that
the, I think obviously the lion's an easy choice. Seeing a lion is pretty impressive. From that point of view. I still think the giraffe is one of the is my favorite. Like, they were just so big, so
yeah,
big.
massive, aren't they? Yeah,
Yeah, but like, I also didn't know because there was a giraffe skull there that we saw. I also didn't know that those pointy bits are bone. I thought it was like thick
like
cartilage or
a
whatever. I just thought it
like
was
a
thick cartilage, almost
flappy thing.
like on like noses, but like almost like it wasn't because I've seen them like fighting and they hit each other in the heads with those pointy bits. But
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
know it was like solid bone. Like so then there's that. But I think giraffes were really impressive. But I think the elephants for me was like seeing them up close and seeing how like there was like two bulls like play fighting to see them in their environment and like to see how much like they just like having fun was weird.
yeah,
Like you could, it's just again, it's what I mean about everyone had their own experience. Like I could tell the elephants were having fun. It was weird, but you knew they were having fun. You knew they were doing it from having a play or whatever. But some people might not pick up on that or get there. It sounds ridiculous, but the energy they were giving off, it's weird to say. I realize I sound a bit woohoo saying that, but even just like all the other females when they were walking around and like they literally walked around our Jeep that we're in, you could tell that they were playful and you could tell that they were relaxed and you could tell that they weren't under threat from any predators nearby and they'd all gone to this certain area where there wasn't any. And it was like, yeah, it's just hard to explain, hard to describe, but you could almost tell when there was a predator in the area because of the way that the energy was from the prey. It sounds fucking mental, but like you just observing their behavior, like you started to notice why they were looking in certain areas, and then the ranger would go, "Well, there's a lion over there. You can see a cheetah there. You can see that there, and that they're all." And like I asked a question of like, why were so many of the prey just roaming these fields? I was like, surely that's just really dangerous. He's like, no. He's like, because they go up to these animals. So an impala, for example, would walk towards a lion, look at them and stare at them to say, I can see you. I know you're there. And I'm
yeah,
quicker than you. I know I'm quicker than you. So it was really odd. You'd think they'd run away all the time, but they're actually running towards them in the middle of a field because they couldn't catch them. So they were saying, "You can't catch me. I know I'm here." Like there's a part in one of the films. I don't know which film it is with the animations. There's an impala that does it to a lion. I think it's Ice Age, and he's like, "You can't catch me. You can't catch me." Does a little stupid dance, and he gets like, I can't remember who it is now. The tiger, saber-toothed tiger. Anyway, but it was like they were all in the open. And I was like, surely this is stupid. Why are they in the open? Everyone can see them. And the ranger was like, no, they do it because they know they'll never catch them. It's when they start going into the bushes and they start getting into the
mm.
the,
Like
the nooks and crannies of the valleys that's when they're in danger.
yeah.
So yeah, it was just fascinating to see it all. But yeah, I would go again in a heartbeat. I would go again next year straight away. Like, because it was a bit off grid as well for me. So like,
Yeah, yeah.
didn't have any phone signal. Only had Wi-Fi when we got back to the lodge. Didn't take my work phone with me. Didn't take my laptop. I was just like, loved it. Didn't go on my phone. Barely went on it. I just that was the thing for me that was so good. It was like reconnecting with fucking nature. It sounds a bit wanky.
Did you like, you were like shoes off, grounding yourself, like
Always, you know me, mate. Yeah, it's the quickest way to run away from a lion, isn't it? Without shoes on. So no, it was just it was just proper relaxing. So yeah, I would highly recommend it.
you felt fine because you were like, I can outrun. You definitely outrun the people you're with, most likely.
That's
so
all I have to do.
That's
all I have
right?
to do. Yeah, all
you're
I
like,
have to do.
Isabel, wait, I'm outrunning Isabel.
Yeah, she's
I
lying.
mean, it's a dark thing to say, your daughter being eaten by a lion, but yeah, it's fine.
Hey, never heard of me. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was good. Well, anyway, what have you been up to while I've been away? Anyway, busy.
Yeah, always. Last week, very busy week. Which is fun. Lots of new as always. Obviously, I'm dipping in further into the toe of online coaching, even more. Yeah, quite a few people coming straight after I come back from Honduras because we I came back from Honduras, which is some sort of very different kind of place. Different, more Caribbean Sea and all this kind of stuff and wildlife and fish, and then you've gone to fucking Africa. We sound like absolute fucking jet setters now, so which is lovely.
Yeah, but the irony is, it's like the first holiday we've had for fucking 3 years.
And then so taking on fair few, all with like I think we talked about it the week before, like all with similar issues. Coaches need a fucking kick up the ass. They need to train for something. They need to be the part and parcel of their products. Obviously that's fine. Which obviously resonates with a lot of people, which is nice. And the fact that I can help them, crazy.
That is crazy.
It's mental, isn't it? So
you can't help anyone.
I know, I can barely help myself. And then what did I do? It was Mother's Day, so I had to go back. What did I do? I went Saturday. I had the orthodontist for the 7,000th time. And then I went for a swim. Then I went and saw my friends. On Mother's Day, went back home. Totally forgot, didn't realize that obviously the clocks have moved, but obviously it doesn't really affect you, right? Like, because obviously all your clocks kind of move anyway now. It's all digital. You don't realize it when it happens. But then I was up, like, as I naturally wake up, right? But I was up and about getting coffee at Gale's at like 7:15 in the morning, but it was 7:15, like, actual. And the clocks had jumped forward, so it was 6:15. And I was like, oh, I better get up. It's fine. I'm a bit lazy, blah, blah, blah. I get up at 7. I was like, yeah, fucking hell, why am I up? Then I was kind of sitting around to drive home. So I went and saw Mum, went and saw my troops, my sister in a very different animal world. My sister got some chickens, and I totally forgot that she'd got chickens. So I was like, fucking hell, there's chickens. Oh, right, yeah, you bought chickens in your garden. So that was fun. Chickens are hilarious. Never won't be funny, I don't think. Just how they move. It's just funny, mate. Like, and they look like they should have arms, and they kind of, because they don't have arms when they like kind of run around, and they just get startled by fucking anything. Especially when my sister got 3 dogs, so apparently that was a bit of a riot when they were coming. They're just roaming around the thing. So yeah.
Laura says this about chickens. She's like, she doesn't feel as bad about eating chickens because she feels like they're just really not that intelligent or emotional. But I think it's like pigs and cows are a bit more emotionally intelligent, and I'm like, well, or more emotional with the way that they have their families and their herds and stuff. And I was like, no. I was like, really? I was like, chickens are dumb. Like, I think that's why I don't feel about eating chickens, because it's just like they're just not as fucking.
They're still like, there's probably smart chickens and thick chickens, right? You don't eat somebody based off their intelligence.
But I mean more so the emotional intelligence of the animal. Like, you know, like they might know that a family member's dying or being killed, whereas I don't think chickens are that fucking switched on about their family.
Fucking pigs eat their own young. Like, what are they on about? Brilliant. That was Dan, by the way, who just paused his internet for no apparent. Normally me. Poverty internet in the middle of London. But yeah, no, pigs eat their young. They're not intelligent.
Oh yeah, no, but I mean, just like, as in, I don't know, like, I don't know where she gets it from, but that's just what she is. But anyway. Was, that's the thing with cows, is she's a bit like not eating red meat anymore.
We should retitle this fucking show to some sort of wildlife podcast.
This week is heavy on the wildlife, isn't it? But yeah, chickens are dumb, basically, is what we're gonna say.
Chickens
Cool.
are dumb. And then yeah, so mum. Then my sister bought a new house. My older sister, so Charlotte and Steve, went and checked that out. It's quite nice. Um,
Nice.
kind of similar to like your one, I think, in Bath. Kind of new build. It's only like a
Yeah.
week old, like in terms of how it's finished. But yeah,
Yeah,
quite
yeah, yeah.
fun.
Very
And
nice.
then yeah, it's more. I guess it's just a weekly segment of Tom's wedding.
Tom's wedding
We
updates.
need
Yeah.
a little jingle, don't we? Do you want to? You can make that. You can make that.
I'll make it up. Yeah.
We get David L to do one. It'd be fine. Tom's
Yeah.
in. Do, 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 do.
What's
I can't.
going on in Tom's wedding
I can't
plans?
stop like when the mailbag on Fridays for Chatterbix comes on. I time to do 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 do
What's
time
it
to
gonna
open
be
a new
now?
door. It always you're like bop a lock, and because it's Friday, it's quite good. Anyway, we went to Le Manoir, which is a very fancy hotel, restaurant and everything.
Fancy, fancy.
We know we saw Paul Hollywood. He was lunching there, so it must have been good food. Raymond Blanc, I believe, is the owner. Paul Hollywood was playing How the Other Half Live, playing petanque and croquet on a Monday afternoon, doing fuck all, and he had arrived in his helicopter. Because we were like, oh, there's a helicopter there. Who's that? And then obviously the person showing us around is
How's
not
he
going to tell
making
us.
that much?
Right?
I mean,
I've told like about 3 or 4 people. They're like, really? I'm like, yeah. I was like, unless he's been for a helicopter lesson, I don't really get it. It looked like a pretty nice helicopter.
to be fair, I mean, his net worth's estimated to be 15 million. I mean,
Okay, so you can probably afford a helicopter,
it
but
must
it's
be. Oh, he's done the American Bake Off, but it must be books or must be recipe books and TV
yeah,
shows.
right.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't really have like restaurants, does he? He's a like, does he have lots
No.
of bakeries? He had a travel show that flopped, and yeah, I realized the Bake Off is quite a big thing, but I was astounded. Um, Anyway, went there. Then we went to a place called Ano Park, which is beautiful. To look at. These are all like possible sites for welcome drinks, because that's a thing. That's a thing that we're doing the day before the wedding. We need to welcome people with drinks. Because our wedding doesn't start till like the mid afternoon, so everybody gets the morning off essentially, which
Mm.
is I think is quite nice. They do what the fuck they like. Just means everybody's gonna be late essentially. Went there. That was fun. That was nice. It's owned by a company called Restoration Hardware. They were very bougie, but it was quite funny with this. So it's me, Chloe, which is it's betrothed, right? Is that a thing you say?
I don't even know. I'm not going to pretend to know.
Fiance. And Bertie and Matthew are our wedding planners. Yes, they are gay, and we
Go for it.
this lad that was showing us around. Me and Bertie are basically the same person in terms of how we're thinking about things as well. And this guy had to go off to a meeting, but he showed us around, blah blah blah, was showing us what we could do, how we could do things for the event, etc. And then we waited a comfortable distance that he had left as we were walking away. And then 2 seconds before I was going to bring up the exact same subject, Bertie was just like, how many fucking times did he say the word activation in the last like 30 minutes? He was like, he was just so hung up, and it was in lots of different contexts as well. I've never heard somebody in events say the word activations or activation so many times, but we think it was a kind of like a synonym for like package or something like that. If you were to do this room and this room, we would do this activation. If you had the tea room and the orangery, we would be able to do this activation. And we were just like, don't really what I understand the word, but I don't really understand the context of what you're using it for. And I was just like, but he said it like 15 times in about like 15 minutes, I swear. And I was
That is
like,
weird.
next time we meet him, it's because
It's
we
almost
might
like a
have it
PT
then.
talking about glutes. Do you know what I mean?
Literally.
Like, here's a band.
It's like, oh, it gives you get that core, really
Yeah.
core activation. Perfect. He would have said that. Loves it. I was like, what is he? I was like, is it like word of the day? Has he been like asked to say it? Like, I don't really understand.
Maybe it's just a running joke where you have to just say it as many times as
Maybe.
possible to
Like,
some
how many
random
times
people.
did he say activation? He's like, I've got it 17 times in that time. So anybody else who uses the word activation too much, stop, or I'm going to laugh at you, or start a drinking game. So that was just probably going to be the case. And then we went to The Double Red Duke, which was lovely. Anybody around, I think, Burford, Oxfordshire, that kind of way.
Lovely part of the world.
Lovely part of
Burford.
the world. Yeah.
Do good chicken eggs there, Burford Browns.
Perfect. That's exactly it. Yeah. It's really close to, so another place that we're thinking about possibly hiring out for the Sunday is Clarkson's pub. Jeremy
Oh yeah.
Clarkson's pub is is it the red, I don't know, the something dog. Yeah, because we're like, I Googled it, I was like, it's only 15 minutes away from here, and it's not any further away from where we're all staying. I was like, that might be interesting. So, because we're looking at just doing like a Sunday kind of, everybody can come whenever they like between like 12 and 4 and just have some food and drinks and chill and fuck off, basically. So yeah. So yeah, that was fun.
Nice.
And yeah, I drove about 400 to 500 miles in 2 days. So really good.
And you got a parking ticket.
And I got a parking ticket this morning. Fucking ridiculous. Mate.
Don't be naughty. Simple in it.
I'll send you the thing. And what was annoying about that, I couldn't decipher whether, because I parked my car around Regent's Park, right? And normally the signage is like it's like pay to park there between 9 and 6:30. So I was like, oh, that's fine. I just sent you the picture of the thing. And so normally it's like Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. And obviously I parked there overnight because I was going to move my car at like 8 o'clock in the morning. I was like, all right, because I was just staying in Central with Chloe, and then we were to move the car because I was like, oh, I can't bother because I've driven so far. I couldn't bother to go there because we can get back at like 10:30. And then I was like, oh, I can do that. That's fine. Instead of paying the congestion charge, that's fine. I'll just park it there. And then got to the car. They gave me a ticket at 7:47. I got to my car at 7:53. Literally 6 minutes. And then, but I've just sent you that picture. What do you make of that picture?
I mean, yeah, it looks to me like literally you'd be fine from 9 o'clock any day.
Right? But it's the top bit that apparently supersedes anything. So why not write? So there's a top bit that says anytime facing that way, you can't park essentially at any time. And then
stupid that.
From on the other one, it says facing that way. This is on yellows and restricted parking zones. You can't park there between midnight and 9 a.m. So why not just fucking write on one side of the thing, you cannot park here, from these times, or you can park here only. Payment from 9 and between 6:30 and midnight, it's free. That's it.
I think they do it on purpose.
100%. It's a money making thing. It has to be otherwise. Because I was like, look, I'm fairly intelligent. I couldn't work that out. I had to go and properly Google it and have to fucking be like, what does the yellow sign mean with this arrow pointing this way? Blah 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 blah. And I was like, fucking ridiculous. It was only £40. But it's 40 quid that I could have spent on fucking something else.
It's so annoying, isn't it?
Super annoying, yeah. Fuck you, Westminster. That was like fucking Metropolitan Police, that. So I can't even really appeal it. It's not a private company. If it was like PCN or something, I was like, fucking hell. Because I've claimed it back before when it was like a private company. I was like, fuck you, I'm not doing it. Yeah. Very fun. What a great start to the day, isn't it? That's a great start to the day. Parking fun. Yeah. Anyway,
I would be. Yeah, I'd be very annoyed about that, especially when it's that ambiguous like that. Fuckers.
Yeah, I just really want to send that into them and be like, no one knows what this means. Trust me. No. There was other cars parked there when I parked there.
Yeah, that's why they do it. So they get bonuses some, aren't they? Got to get their bonuses somehow, mate.
Literally, that's how they get fucking bonuses, isn't it? It's like, how many tickets did you issue? I got these. So, yeah, bastards. Very fun. Very fun, mate. So apart from that, I guess we can vaguely talk about my YouTube series is up, running, boom.
Tom's a YouTube sensation.
I'm not, really not. I would like to get to
It's not what I've heard.
What, my first 50 views?
Yeah, quality, mate.
In the bag, mate. But yeah, what have we done?
I'm going to find it.
Femke, Eagles, a baseball guy, I need a Cam Smith golfer guy. I've already recorded the Manchester United one. That was pathetic. No
Tom
shit.
Hall coach. Coach reacts.
Coach reacts.
There we go.
But yeah. So I
Coach
want to get.
reacts.
I think it'll be interesting to like. It's just as a side project, right? Because it's like, all right, just to see what I can do with YouTube, etc. But yeah, Cam Smith. I've got all like the indexes in there as well, so you can scroll through the thing, so you don't have to waste
There you
time. Like, see that? So learning. I didn't do that on the first couple of videos because I didn't know how to do it. But yeah, apparently it adds an extra 5 minutes onto. And I've never stopped thinking about when you said it takes like 1 minute of content takes 10 minutes to edit. And I was like, and now I'm like very conscious of how much time, because give or take they're like kind of 15-minute to 20-minute videos, right? That last one was there. And I was like, fucking hell, that in theory, this is going to take me almost 4 hours to edit. And you're like, ooh. But if I said that to a coach or a mentor or coach or whatever, they'll be like, fuck that, I'm not doing that. Oh well. It's an interesting process though of editing. I don't know what you do.
How do you get the chapter clips on it? I've tried before. I can't get it. You know that you've broken it that where you get it. Obviously, it does it for you.
No, it doesn't.
The indexes. It doesn't do it for you.
No, so yeah, this is where you need Dan. You should be your own student and go and watch these small creative videos of how to do these things. Yeah, so
You put it in the
literally
description, right?
you put it in the description at the bottom, and then literally when I'm doing the edit, when I know that's the timestamp, I just put literally the 001 dot 13 intro,
Can't be asked.
and then write intro, and that's it.
Can't be asked.
Because apparently, like the AI that does it for you is shit. Like every person that's like said it is like it's not good. But it's an interesting process. Like, so I get the video. My first thing, because I feel like people were just like, "Oh, you just edit as you go," right? I go through the whole thing, and there must be an AI for this. There has to be, but I guess it's probably not perfect yet. I go through and take out all the times I say or like, and get rid of it.
Definitely AI for that.
There's definitely AI for that, isn't there?
Gordon even told me about it. Gordon Greenall mentioned it to me before.
Yeah, because that at the moment is like that's my first job of like doing that, and then it's like all the zooms and like layers or whatever and blah 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 and cutting it down. Oh, yeah, there's definitely an AI because I feel like that takes fucking like it turns like essentially like a I don't know what was a 25-minute recording down to like 22 minutes. It's like it's crazy. It's crazy how much comes off of just like you going
just the ums and ahs.
Yeah, because especially when it's like a reaction thing's pretty kind of it moves quickly anyway because it's like kind of a live like one hit kind of thing. I'm not doing lots and lots and lots and lots of takes, so it's interesting. But yeah, Cam Smith, golfers. This kind of goes for. I think this goes for more coaches because you'll see some of the content on. I put one out today on terms of like squats and just having confidence to fucking tell athletes or your clients to do things that you want them to. Don't shy away from it. And I think it probably relates to what you do as well. And it's like there are some awkward conversations with kind of clients that you've had for a while, perhaps if they're not doing something that well and they think they are. And you need to give them a reality check. And in that thing, it was like, I can't decipher whether Cam is squatting to death, for example. But I was going to hazard a guess based off my 12 years of S&C knowledge that I don't think he was. And I think he should have been based off what I saw because it didn't look like that it was loaded enough for doing like quarter squats or half squats or anything. And he didn't have the safeties set at a height to do just a powerful like quarter squat. So I know, for example, I'm going to do some stuff on some triple jumpers and long jumpers like Jasmine Sawyer's. I know for a fact that they do in athletics, you do quarter to half squat testing. That is literally a test and it is a depth that they have to hit to. Which people are like, what? Why? It's like, yeah, because that's the amount of fucking flexion they have to obtain to put all their through their hips. So yeah, I think it was just a thing because obviously, like in the video, you see his coach as well, but he didn't correct him in any way. It didn't look like he did anyway, and I was just like, would you? I would, but I've seen it before. Who's the guy that plays
like
Jon
you said
Snow?
though, it's so hard to just take one session, right? Because you don't know that's a
I
conversation behind the
always
scenes of like
yeah,
always saying like working on your depth every time, because this could be an improvement on what he's done from a
correct.
year ago.
Yeah,
So there's always that element to it, isn't there, with it, and also like winning your battles as a coach, which I think again is something that I think some PTs who are doing regular stuff with their clients wouldn't really. I guess it doesn't really apply to them as much. It does, but more so from working in pro sport, you pick your battles and you go, am I really going to battle with Cam Smith to try and get an extra inch out of his squat, knowing he's really going
yeah,
to fucking hate it and he despises it, versus getting him to do the core work, the conditioning, and the extra stuff that I know he will do well. And that's the bit, again, other athletes and not golfers, right? But
yeah.
there is that element where I think it would be interesting to see the whole conversation and then go what we might assume, which is that actually some of these guys don't know what they're doing as well as we think they would, or give them the benefit of the doubt. But we have to say it because we haven't seen all these things.
Yeah.
But like you said, when you again, I'm muted you and I'm watching your YouTube videos. I'm giving you a view, Tom. Don't worry about it. Is like when he does the overhead squat with the the pole, whatever it is. He does like the body weight overhead squat. Is like the range there is better than it is with the 110 kilos on his back. So it's like, well, we know you can get there then. So you are just choosing to not do it, would be my thing. I don't know if that's what you've said in the thing.
Yeah.
But I'd be looking to match the depth, right, with that.
100%. I was like, this looks pretty good. Like, absolutely solid, blah, blah, blah. I think at the end of the session, I was like, honestly, I would write that session, most likely. I would execute it slightly differently, perhaps, but I would probably write that session. And I said, like, maybe, and it seems to be a general thing as well. I've noticed it. So one of my clients has moved to Dubai, but and she's got a coach out there, but she sends me his programs to critique and change around. And I'm like, I can just program for you. It's fine. She's like, no, but he wants the program, blah, blah, blah. But the exercise order is still a big gap in people's fucking knowledge of like where stuff should go and where power training needs to go. I think people don't realize at all how important power training needs to be right at the front when you're freshest. And they're like, oh, I wouldn't do that before compound. And I'm like, no, fucking do it before your main lifts, because it will not gas you out. It will potentiate you. It'll make you better at the main lift. And I think that's what you're like, oh, but I wouldn't lift that heavy before a main lift. I was like, no, do it. Trust me, please just do it. Most athletes, apparently not Cam Smith, most really big athletes, like I just look, when I'm thinking like really good gym athletes, I think athletics, like any throwing sports, any jumping sports, they are fucking insane. And NFL. I think those two are the best in the gym, hands down. Probably rugby I put into that as well. I think those guys get it. A lot of other things. And I've managed to get clips of Chelsea, Real Madrid and Man U for like a bit of a take. And yeah, they don't really get it that well. Like some of them do, some of them they and we've worked in football. Some footballers do not want to be there whatsoever. They're not gym guys at all.
No. Like
Cam Smith, not a gym guy. He's a fucking bogan. Like wants to go drinking and he's really fucking good at golf. Like that's the thing.
Yeah, like, that's the tough thing, isn't it, with it all? Is it's trying to work it all out. Again, like what bits that you like I said, in terms of picking your battles, there's a little bit of this where again like that S&C coach or PT's job is to keep Cam Smith playing golf, like out on the golf course and all this sort of stuff. Whereas you could argue with the athletics, well, there's elements of it where it's like, well, we're peaking for a certain event, we've got a lot more time, whereas Cam Smith doesn't. It's about maintenance. It's about things. So there's that argument, isn't it, all the time? Same with footballers. Like, I get it. What footballers don't understand is that the intensity at which they train at is more important than the length of it. I'm not asking you to do an hour and a half of weights. I'm asking you to do 30 minutes of high quality, powerful movement done at speed, so that we keep power or we keep muscles. With the intensity of speed training, like you've talked about before, is like you're not exposing yourself to enough of it when you're resting or when you've got gaps in between games. I still think there's this mentality within that side of stuff, with the athletic side of things, where it's like people understand, especially in athletics and rugby, I think, more so in the other sports that you just mentioned, they understand the benefit of different varying intensities and volumes of training. Whereas I think if you spoke to a footballer, they just be like, I don't want to do weights. It's just weights, it's just like a category in its own. Whereas athletics and rugby, I think they would have speed, power, hypertrophy sessions. They would know what their differences are between them. They would understand the concept behind it because they get taught it at a younger age. Whereas in football, it's just, didn't do my weights, go and do your weights, go and do your rehab, go and do your core. It's like, that's about it. From what we, activation session, it's like, fuck off. You know, it's funny, isn't it? That's the reality of it. Is the education is on the lower side as well.
Yeah. So I just think like maybe coaches out there take a little look at themselves of where they're putting some of this stuff in for their normal clients, or particularly people that are doing park runs now or want to get better 5K times and high rocks times. I was like, trust me. Like, so a physio sent me a client, Tom sent me a high rocks client, just for a consult. I'm not to take her on, just to look at her volume. Fucking hell. And it was just like, I was just like, you're doing too much. I was like, you have a full-time job. You're not a full-time athlete. Let's go number one. And then you're trying to do all your strength stuff on top of all of your WOD stuff, on top of all of your run stuff, which is equaling a kind of like 8 sessions, but not enough strength at all. And I was like, maybe one kind of strengthy session. I was like, fucking bin off one of these WODs. What do you think it's going to be? It's like, you just want to win at burpees? Like,
that's exactly what
you're going to fucking get 95% of the way there, like by getting ridiculously strong and springy. I think those are the adaptations you want to get, instead of going, oh no, we need to practice this WOD. I was like, I get technical aspects of like the rope pull and like ski erg and stuff like that. That's just hard fucking graft, and making sure you're working at different intensities in like your maximal aerobic speed stuff and different energy systems. Yeah, and it's just like, okay, brilliant, cool. Yeah, just bin off doing normal stuff. It's like, no, we don't need to deadlift them. Do we not?
Yeah, I think
yeah.
the other thing as well, I was going to based loosely around this stuff, right? In terms of like Gen Pop and things, I've seen a few people talk about obviously the increase in hybrid training and all this sort of stuff. And I've seen a few retorts to it of being like, oh, I'd rather excel at one than be average at multiple things, right? I've seen a few of this from like some bodybuilders, obviously, you know, that kind of thing. Of like, you know, they don't, and I just think it's interesting that I think the majority of people, and I think again it comes from this element of maybe it's the bodybuilding world or wanting to just look good and just focus on your physique and what it can look like rather than what it can do, is that they really misunderstand the point of hybrid training is more about your body is designed to do more than just build more muscle, like, or look good. And likewise, like we've talked about, even if you're a triathlete or you're this, it's like there's still a place for power training. There's still a place for speed. It's not just going to be just aerobic. There's a place for it all. And I think that we need to make sure that within the messaging of online coaching, again, obviously depending on your niche and you want to work with blah, 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 there's this element to it where as you start to get a bit older in the position that maybe we're in now, is that you start to appreciate all the things your body can do. And you realize that it's all combined. It's not one or the other. It's that it probably benefits each other. Like we're not trying to, again, step on stage with the most amount of muscle or, you know, going to run world record marathon attempts. So for us, it's like, well, no, we can do a bit of everything and probably should do a bit of everything. And I think that's where for you, like we've talked about with clients, it's like your combine and the way that you train your clients and athletes, it's like there's a reason I do a bit of everything and sprinkle all this stuff in and make sure that you know all this stuff, because you need to do all this stuff, because the human body is designed to do more than just do 3 sets of 10. Like, how about we start exploring that and start realizing that we can actually be very good at a lot of these things rather than, oh, average at all of them. It's like, no, it's not about being average at all of them. It's about being better than you were at all of them, because you arguably should be. And I think it's important that you train all the energy systems, all the things. And I know that, again, I'm not using my knee as an excuse, but I know when I'm back fit and able to do all these things, I'm going to start doing more of that stuff, sprinting, running, longer distances, shorter distances, trying out these different things, because I think that you owe it to your body to be able to explore all the capabilities and all the elements on the continuum of your physical health and fitness, rather than just going, well, I just want to excel at this. It's like, yeah, but you're not actually excelling at anything because you're never actually going to do anything with it. So let's just cut the crap, like, and let's make sure you can do a wide variety of things.
Yeah, because it sucks, doesn't it? It sucks not being able to be the person who can't do it. I'm not going to put myself into that exposure. The bodybuilder's not going to do the high rocks class or the WOD or the athletics run session or the thing because they're like, oh, I'm not good at that. I just want to excel. It's like, no, expose yourself to it and you'll be good at it. You will be. Trust, and like the bodybuilders I've taken on, shockingly, I reterm what they've been training for, because they're like, oh, just building muscle, Tom. I'm like, no, you've been doing strength endurance. I don't even use the term hypertrophy. I refuse to, because I'm like, nah, that's strength endurance. That's my section. That's fine. You've just been doing lots of reps. And usually what their kind of strength curve is just more mirrored towards that. It's like you haven't got a very high peak, but you can fucking go for a long time. So they're in theory a weight training endurance athlete, which is fun, and they don't like that.
Yeah, it's just a funny view of it. I just think with that, I think we have to remember that there's more to this than just, again, one modality. And I think it's just an age thing. Maybe it's just at a time of our lives now we've got more experience. I just think that it's naive to think I'll just be good at one thing and I excel at it. Like I said, you're not doing the Olympics, mate.
So you, mate, like what would you excel at golf? One part of it? Yeah, I'm just really, really good at the putting bit. That's not Dan, by the way.
Definitely not me. 39 putts on Monday, yesterday. You on me.
Nice, mate. Beautiful.
Yeah,
you're getting your practice in. Why wouldn't
I had a week off.
Wouldn't you?
I had a week off. That's my argument.
Why wouldn't you want to spend half your shots on just putting around the greens?
Yeah,
you might as well go putt, mate. You might as well just go to a putt course if you can do that.
Yeah. That's what I'm going to spend all summer fucking doing is putting.
But yeah, the same for golf, right? You'd be like, all right, well, you probably need a combination of everything: driving, irons, blah blah blah, chipping, blah blah blah, to be a better athlete, better golfer. So, not saying that, because obviously there's a big side of like, I always look at through slightly different goggles for these athletes when I'm critiquing them, because I'm like, they're not trying to be the best in the gym. Nobody wins in the gym. They win at their sport. The gym is to supplement them being good. So that should be happening for running. It should be happening for hybrid athletes or whatever. So see, bodybuilders are very
I just think it's a cop out. I just think it's a bit of it's going to be hard, so I'm just going to say that I don't want to do it because I want to be excel at something. It's like, no, the reality is it's fucking difficult, mate, and that first run or bike is going to feel horrific.
The first 2 weeks of fucking gash, absolutely fine, but I'm sure the first 2 weeks of bodybuilding was pretty tough. Maybe, I don't know. Just
it's easy.
Just look, it's easy, isn't it? Easy to write a plan when you've only got to train one muscle group.
Literally.
Fine.
Chest day. Okay. Everything on chest day.
How many chest machines? Must get so bored. I was like, oh, fucking hell.
I look back now, I can't believe I ever did it because it's so boring. But it was obviously a time where I was interested by it and wanted to do it and enjoyed it or whatever. But now you couldn't pay me to do that now. Ugh, boring. Boring as hell. You can pay me to play golf though. No one's going to, but you could do.
No one's going to.
Yeah.
That's right.
Got a match on Friday. Got a singles match on Friday.
Singles match? Does Laura know?
She doesn't know. No, I'm gonna keep it from her. So yeah, got my singles match Friday. I've got another round on Thursday. See how that goes. Make sure I'm gonna putt well, and then start on Friday. Brilliant. Looking forward to that. Not
Excellent.
Get in the zone. As long as my driver works and my putter works, I'll be fine. Just those two things. Just the two hardest things in the
things in golf. That's right. So I'm staying away. I've so many times almost clicked purchase on DF3, or
I'm going to get one. I've decided I'm going to get one at some point. At some point, I'm just going to get one.
There's a guy.
Once I've forked out everything for your wedding and the trips back to see you and all this stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm feeling. I'm like, is that going to be? I can be a wedding. I can probably ask for one. For a wedding present.
Yeah, that'd be a great idea. I mean, I'm not getting it for you because that's ridiculous. Yeah. But I would, I might get it for myself for Christmas or something. You know what I mean? When the fucking years die down, and I go, right, I can do it then and get myself that. But I keep looking at it as well, and I'm like, but then it's funny because I played with a guy on Monday who, sorry, I think it was Monday, but it was yesterday for us now, but it's Monday when it comes out. And he had one, and he wasn't a very good player. He was a high handicap player, and I was joking with the other lads that were playing with, and he was like, "Oh, I'm so close to buying one of those. I think I really want one." And I said, "Yeah, but the problem is you run out of excuses then once you bought that. You kind of go like, now you're just a shit putter." I feel like I've got this like trump card to go. I'm a bad putter, but it's my putter, it's my blade, and if I got that, I'd be loads better.
That'd be great.
No, the reality is probably not. It's like I've just got it in my back pocket if I need to. I still need to go. I want to go into the shop and try them out. I still can't get the way they look. Still can't.
Same. They still look awful, don't they? You're like, just make it look a little bit better. I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know whether they're trying to look slightly garish.
I think there's part of it where it is that they want to be known for it and they want to be recognizable, and it's recognizable. Do you know? If you're 20 meters away from someone with a blade, you don't know what blade it is. Whereas with this, it's like
see that big fucking bull halo thing. You're like, all right, that's that one. Yeah, or like the wedge kind of with two sides. They look kind of like futuristic, don't they? I guess.
Yeah, I think I prefer the wedge one with two sides than the DF3.
Really? I quite like DF3. I don't know why. I think it's just, Yeah, we'll see. Maybe end of the year we'll both do it together. Fine. Because there's a lad up at the golf course I played last week that does fittings for them.
Oh, really? Yeah. So there is a new one though that is a bit more normal looking. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, they've got a blade out as well now.
They've got a blade as well, but I don't understand it because it's not. Yeah, I'm like the thing isn't in the center, is it? I thought that was the whole point. It's slightly offset. Maybe maybe the heel is slightly heavier. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is all very nerdy talk for people, which is probably
I was about to say people
turned off now. But have we got any other news? Any other business? Not really from us, right? We both probably in our lives have got not much travel and stuff going on. It's full fucking work. So I am very much open. I've taken like 5 to 7 this month on. So I think in the month of March, and I think I'll be doing the same for April. So if anybody wants to join, they're more than welcome. And I'll be revamping what the combine stuff is. So that'll be interesting. A project that Mike will obviously help me from the one message I send him every 2 weeks. So yeah. Is this all right? Yeah, cool. Done.
Sweet.
So that'll be fun. You've got your event. Is there still tickets for it?
Yeah, 2nd of May.
Is there? 2nd of May.
Friday,
I might
2nd
come.
of May.
2nd of May.
Sorry, mate. If you come to that, I'll come to your wedding.
2nd of... Oh, I'm looking at April. No, May. It's a Friday.
Friday, yeah.
Do any of these coaches work?
Working day, isn't it? Friday, working day. Oh, yeah, that's why we do it on that day. It's working day.
Dan's event. Dan's event.
There you go.
Yeah, I might come say hello. Do I have to pay? I guess.
Clara better be coming. So I should probably ask her if she's coming or not. Just message her. Right. I know she listens to the podcast, and this is literally now like a conversation with her.
She messaged me. She was like, "Everything you said about me was ridiculously accurate." And I was like, "Yeah, believe it or not, we're good at working with people. So yeah, that's one of our people skills. Is good.
We listen, we pay attention, we remember. Yeah,
absolutely fine. Right, any other business?
Not from me. Nope.
Not from me. I'm still dieting. I'm wasting away, as you can see.
Joy.
I know. Shock. All right, nice listening, guys. We will catch you next week.
See you later.